Alright then guys, so this video is not one that I was really expecting to make, especially not at this point on prep, because as of today we have been on prep for 36 days in total, and we have 54 days or 55 days until the Austria Pro, which is on December 9th. As of a decision that was made last night, and it wasn't a decision that was just made last night, it's been something that's literally been in the back of my head every single day, pretty much since we started prep. And it might have been obvious in the videos. It was definitely obvious to the people that are like in my life, my girlfriend's mom, like the people I see at the gym every day, Dee, who helps me film videos and everything. Like, especially when I was met with the question, like, how are you feeling on prep? Like, are you excited for the show? And it never really felt like I was given a true answer, because I never really felt like this show was really going to happen for me. Pretty much the entire time it's been like I've had one foot in and one foot out. I'm kind of going to explain in this video like why that has been the case, and the decision that we've essentially made to not continue prep, and why that's happened, what my coach thinks about it all, what Callum's 2 cents is, like what the plan is moving forward, all these things. Because pretty much as of today, prep has come to a pause. And the reason I say pause is because the journey hasn't ended. Like, prep hasn't like officially just like been written off the cards and like we're going to take a year off season, we're going to take more time to grow. Like, it's not that I don't feel ready from a muscularity perspective, it's not that I'm too nervous to step on stage and do my debut. Like, it's something I've been excited about for so freaking long. Like, ever since we stepped off stage in Austria last year and got the pro card, like all I've been thinking about is, wow, I can't wait to step on stage again and actually make my debut and step on stage with people that I have literally looked up to in bodybuilding ever since I started. The likes of Logan Franklin, Rough Diesel, like all these people that are also trying to qualify for the Olympia. Getting the chance to step on stage with these people and just share the same ground would be an absolute honor. So like, you know, I'm not nervous about doing that. I obviously want to be the best that I can be. I truly believe that this prep, with the time that we have left and the physique that I'm able to bring with the time that we do have, I don't think it's going to be that of my best, or at least as good as Austria was to get the card. With the next 55 days that we have, I don't think we have the ability to get in condition enough even to meet Austria standard. The goal for the debut is to not just hit the last condition, it's actually to surpass it, based on the fact that we have a little bit more muscularity, we'll have a little bit more maturity, density, all these things, so it may be able to bring a better condition than we even had at that show. But with the time that we have, the thing that's just been in the back of my mind that scares the hell out of me is we're not going to be ready, and that is completely my fault. I know this massively goes back on everything that was said in the last video, pretty much at the start when I was like looking at the scale, looking at like what I don't need to think about and what I don't need to do. But like, I know that when I was saying all that stuff in the video, it was me trying to convince myself that we're going to be okay, that we're going to be able to be at least enough, that we're not going to have to look in the mirror too much, we're not going to have to look at the scale too much, we're just going to go day by day and chip away and just like hope that will be just enough to be able to not look like a fool on a pro stage. Because one thing that I'm realizing is the condition that was able to be brought to like an amateur stage, it doesn't really matter if you're not bone dry shredded, because like, I mean, you're just not going to get a pro card, you're just not going to do well. But it's not seen to be like a weird obscurity to see someone on a amateur stage to be like not bone dry shredded, because it might be their second show, it might be their first show, you just don't know. But one thing you never see on a pro stage is someone that didn't get lean enough, or the only thing you do see is maybe someone that carved up too much and they overspilt, but you never see someone that didn't do it right. And I truly want to know in my heart that we had the time to do it right, and you only get to do your debut once. What I want to do now is like, I want to read something that I wrote in my notes. I'm trying to like write things down more recently, like get the thoughts out of my head just on the notes section on my phone. Like, I'm not very good at like writing, but something I've tried to do instead is just like, if I have any thoughts, if I have any like, you know, things that I'm pondering on, ideas, just like jotting my feelings and thoughts down in my notes section. And it's actually what helped me piece together what I want to do on this prep and what I want from prep, not just like sticking to a specific date or a show that I picked, like, because realistically there are so many shows and the stage is always going to be there, and you owe it to yourself to at least be able to bring your best, especially to the one opportunity that you get to make once in your entire life, and that's to spend that pro card for the first time, to make your debut. And I don't believe that anyone should do that being any less than their best. Like, they knew they did everything they could have done on a prep to be able to bring their best. It might not be the best, but if you know in your heart that you had the time, you put in the effort, and you peaked the best that you could, and you're stepping on stage being like, you know what, this feels right because it feels right in my heart. That's something I don't believe I'll be able to feel on December 9th, but that is something I know I'll be able to feel shortly after in the future. Let me just read what I wrote down first, and then I'll explain what the plan is and what me and Callum have sort of decided to move forward to continue on the journey in regards to like the plan of action, what we're going to be doing with the diet side of things, what we're going to be doing like to chase various like levels of condition, and when we want to compete again. So this is what I wrote. Prep is coming to an end. I feel like I'm having this mental battle with myself every single day. It's like I've put this huge pressure on myself to be so much better than last year, but every time I look in the mirror or go about my day, it just feels like it won't happen or we won't have enough time. We have multiple great shows to pick from just months after December 9th, so I've decided to push prep back just a little for peace of mind and to know that we have time to be the best that we can possibly be. You only get to make your pro debut one time, and all I want to do is just do it right. I want to give the pro stage the condition that it deserves, and that is what I'm worried that I won't be able to achieve right now. I hate that it seems like I'm giving up, when in my heart it truly doesn't feel that way, but externally I feel pressured to continue just because I said that I would. I haven't signed any contracts or spoken to the IFBB, flights have not been booked, so nothing really has to change other than the date that we step on stage. I'm trying to realize the bigger picture. It's that I need to do the thing that's going to make me feel the best, ready, and hungry for it. This is truly how I've been feeling, which is strange because I always try my best to be as positive as possible. In regards to moving forward, nothing will change from a plan perspective. I love the consistency and the structure that it gives my life. I might even continue to get leaner than we are right now. We'll just be holding out on the stage condition. This is the first prep in my entire life that I've ever felt like this. It feels like I'm living a lie and going against what I truly believe to be the best thing for me. I know the best thing for me is going to be truly believing that I'm able to be my best and not having doubt in the back of my mind every single day. I hope you understand this decision. I hope it all makes as much sense to you as it does for me. Competing is meant to be about chasing your goals and your dreams because you want to, as it's a personal choice and a very selfish one at that. The least you owe yourself in doing it in a manner that feels right and you know deep down it's meant to be. We move forward and continue, but just for another day. What does that mean for the future? So as you heard in the piece of writing, that the plan isn't actually going to change, and we may actually get leaner than the condition that we are in right now. The reason we're stopping prep isn't because I want to eat food. It's not because I'm hungry. It's not because I want to eat anything off plan. Like, I genuinely love following the structured plan, following the food that I'm eating. Like, I genuinely enjoy the meals that I eat. I'm not planning to just like start prep and order pizza tonight. Like, we have no off-plan meals planned at all. And I've even spoken to Geordie about this because she's like, do you want to just order pizza tonight? And I'm like, no, like, I have my meals to hit, my steps to hit, my cardio to hit, because this is what I genuinely want. And I would like to see my physique get leaner. I'm going to treat this as like sort of a mini cut. So in regards to a condition perspective, we're not just going to rebound right now. We're not just going to gain all the weight back that we like have been dieting for, because we've only realistically been on prep for the last 5 weeks. I know this is like, there's only been 4 episodes of hard body shredding because I spent the first few weeks like fighting the battle that I was trying to get over, which is what I'm speaking about right now, which is, am I going to be ready, trying to get into the groove of things. And when I believed that I was just about in the groove of things, I was like, you know what, we can start documenting the series, which is exactly why it started. But the more days that passed, the more times that I was like, you're right, we have this amount of time left and I'm this body weight, we have this amount of time left and I still look like this. Like, not saying that I look necessarily bad, but to be better or the same than we was last year, we are about 2 or 3 weeks in condition behind. And being the fact that through self-analysis and what Callum has said, being about 2 to 3 weeks away from the condition that we was before, does that mean that we have the ability to do Stairmaster into the ground, to diet on such low calories that we try and force the condition? Is that going to breed the best look that I believe I can bring to a pro stage? Absolutely freaking not. I can try and force this. I can lower my calories to 1500. I can try and do 2 hours of Stairmaster every single day. And eventually I'm just going to absolutely look like shit. The best way to diet for a show is to try and retain as much muscle as physically possible by doing it gradually, by doing it slowly, by doing it in a maintainable way, so you look fresh on stage. Like, you don't want to step on stage and just look absolutely cooked, because when it comes to stepping on stage, you want to have life, you want to be like able to express yourself, you want to be able to like have that classic finesse, and you want to be confident in the physique that you managed to bring to the stage. I want to have all those things. I truly don't want to step on stage and waste my one opportunity to rush the experience. Like, I don't want to rush. I'm trying to take a step back. I'm trying to listen to my gut. I'm trying to listen to my heart. to know that I'm doing this for the right reasons and to know that the stage is always going to be there. And one thing that I wanted to mention after my conversation with Callum, he said something that was quite funny to me. And it was like, bro, you know, if we compete next year, it's actually probably going to be a better option anyway. And I was like, what do you mean, like a better option? He was like, well, there's different classes of pro stages. There's like A class, C class, and B class, right? An A class show would be like the Arnold Classic or like the Tampa Pro or like the Toronto Pro. Basically like a huge show that all the pros are going to go to. And then politically, when it comes to those sort of shows, they're going to give it to the person that's been showing up for years. For example, I'm not sure what show it was, but imagine in bodybuilding, if Nick Walker shows up, they're going to give it to Nick if he looks like kind of the best next to the next person that, let's just say it's their first ever show. They're going to give it to the person that's paid their dues and they've been competing for a very long time. A class shows are the most popular pro shows in the world. Then there's the B class and the C class. You have more of a it's more fair in a way because the show doesn't have like so much of a big name. So if you do one of those shows, you've got more of a chance of being judged fairly and being judged for the physique that you have and to build up your name within bodybuilding, especially within the pro league, and to put yourself in front of the judges' faces. You want to be able to do that multiple times on a season to be able to really get your name out there. Now, the downside about competing this year is the fact that on December 9th, if you go on the IFBB Pro website, it is literally the final show of the year. So what that means is we would diet down for just one single show and then have to rebound and then compete again in like 3 or 4 months after that. So we're only going to get one shot to really make some noise. Now, the benefit of holding off a little bit and actually picking a period of time when we should compete, it will be a time when we can hit 3 to 4 shows back to back within a 6 to 8 week period, because of the fact that when the new season starts, you're not pressured by being like, oh my god, I'm not going to be ready for this one final show of the year, because there's multiple shows to pick from. Granted, you have to sign a contract when you like go to pro shows, and you can do that within like 2 or 3 weeks of the show. It doesn't have to be like, I don't know, like 2 months or 3 months before when you start prep. You can literally ask the IFBB, send an email for the contract, and as soon as you give them like your details and your pro card number and all this sort of stuff, you can then enter the show. The only shows that you can't just like choose to enter are like the Arnold Classics, because you have to be invited to those shows. You can't just be like, hey bro, I'm doing the Arnold and this is the one I want to do, because they're just going to turn you away unless you literally get an invite. So the reason why it makes a bit more sense competing next year is because we're not going to put our body through the stress and the anabolics and the condition for just one show. We're going to be able to utilize the hard work and the effort we're going to put into a prep, because being in that condition is not easy, and to do it for just one show, it kind of feels a little bit silly. I mean, obviously if it's the Olympia, it's one thing. For your first pro season, you want to be hitting up at least 2, 3, 4 shows to really get your name out there, to really like pay your dues and like put yourself in front of the judges and just have a freaking incredible time competing with all these people that you've looked up to, or I've looked up to, for so many years. I can't even believe what it would be like stood on stage next to like Urs, Miracle Bear. What an absolute planet. And just being next to him, that would be like honestly incredible. That didn't even feel like it's actually going to be a reality for me. That was one of the reasons I was massively nervous to start prep, because I was like, is this actually happening? And are we ready? And I spoke about that so much in like the intro to the series, like, are we ready? And I found out that I was emotionally ready pretty much at the beginning of prep. I was like, I am so ready to step on stage and like, you know, present the physique that we can do. The only thing I found out during prep is that we pretty much messed up when we started. We didn't leave ourselves enough time, and we're not going to be, unfortunately, potentially in the condition that we could or should be doing the debut at. I was really fucking nervous to make this video, and like a lot of the reasons why I continued on probably a few weeks longer than I thought I should have is only based on the reason that I curse myself when I say I'm going to do something, and then I say on social media I'm going to do something. Like, I feel like it's written in stone, like it's actually carved on a block of, you know, truth, and I have to do it because I said I was going to. Realistically, we're just picking a different show. Like, we're just pausing prep. Like, we're just putting things back like 2, 3, maybe 4 months. But all that's going to do in terms of the plan moving forward is just enable us to, one, be in a better condition, potentially have more muscle tissue, and maybe have a better experience on prep as a whole. Because all we have to do now, as instructed by Callum, is we are going to stay on the current plan for at least the next 3 to 4 weeks. It would mean we would have been dieting for like 8 or 9 weeks. What that's going to do is create an opportunity to grow a lot off the back of this like dieting period, because one thing that happens off the back of a prep, when your body is literally yearning and just wants to eat so badly, it has this rebound phase, at least for like 4 to 6 weeks, and the growth is absolutely rapid, and your muscle just gets so full and the fascia stretches, everything expands, and you just have this fantastic ability to build new muscle and recover just extremely fast, especially based on the fact that you would usually be tapering away from your anabolic stack. You wouldn't just be stopping, so you're still going to grow and benefit so much from it. A lot of people just jump on another stack for like 6 to 8 weeks after a prep just to make sure they are optimizing that growth like rebound period as much as possible. So all we're going to do is try and emulate a mini version of that, but not to hit like a heavy rebound where we gain like 30 pounds right away. We're going to continue to diet, whether we have like, you know, like 1 or 2 cheat meals a week. I'm not sure. Like, I don't know what Callum's going to say. If Callum's like, you know what, we're just going to push you into the ground and you're not going to have any off-plan meals, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to try and emulate a mini post-show rebound. We're going to continue getting shredded, because if I genuinely like didn't want to prep, I wouldn't continue doing that. But like I love what I do. I feel so lucky to be able to like do bodybuilding and, you know, compete and all these things, and be in a position where my life allows me to compete and allows me to be able to give everything to a prep based on the fact that I have a pretty open schedule. I work for myself, I run a business, I manage a whole athlete team, I like develop new products, clothing and equipment and all these stuff. It allows me to have a schedule where I choose the hours that I work, and I choose when I wake up, I choose when I prep meals, I choose when I train and do cardio and all these things. And if I manage my time correctly, I can do this like a breeze. My life doesn't have to be difficult. I just choose to make it complicated. There's so many things that I want to do, and there's so many things that I am doing every single day. Like, especially with the business, like we have a whole new capsule collection for Hardbody. We have this Take Flight Part 2 season. Take Flight initially was how I wanted it to be, but I didn't get to release nearly anything that I really wanted to for the season. So Take Flight Part 2, which is going to be the final part of season 2 for the clothing for Hardbody, that's going to be dropping around Black Friday, and it is literally exactly what I want it to be. It is in the direction that I want to bring Hardbody clothing. You guys, when you see it, you're going to absolutely love it. I love it. The athletes love it. Like, I've been given sneak peeks here and there, and I cannot believe how good it turned out, and I can't wait for you to see it. And while we're on the topic, just before I go back to obviously talking about the finality and the pausing of prep, is the anime t-shirts. I'm actually wearing one right now. Not sure if you can see the back, but that's it. Yeah. It's Hardbody's anime line, and it sold out last time in literally 12 hours. All 3 designs are restocking, all the way from small to XXL, and that is happening on the 26th of October. So the 26th of this month. It's a very limited restock, because we only wanted to bring minimal stock back for the people that just didn't get the chance, because there was a bit of an uproar on the Hardbody Instagram. Like, no one was expecting, like I wasn't expecting them to sell out so fast, and there was people at school, at work, that like didn't get the chance to pick one up. So I was like, you know what, let's purchase like a small restock so people can actually get the chance to have them if they want them. So on the 26th, these are coming back, and then early next year there'll be a bunch more like anime collection designs. We're going to do some shorts, some t-shirts. Like, I enjoy anime so much, and the fact that like people that lift and go to the gym like also appreciate anime, and the mere fact that Hardbody, like, it's my brand. I can literally do whatever the hell I want with it. If I want to bring out anime stuff, if I want to bring out like this and that, I can literally bring out whatever I want, like what I truly like, what I would truly like to see from a brand, what I would wear, like all these things. And hopefully over the course of time that everyone that gets it also enjoys it too. We spoke about the reason why I want to start prep. We spoke about the fact, well, today is the 15th of October, and as of today, we have currently been dieting for 36 days, and it's not been difficult. It's actually been really nice to actually be able to see my abs again, because I feel like the off season, with all the shawarma and pizza and just random shit I was eating, like I wasn't really doing the off season like a pro should do it. I wasn't really orchestrating myself like as I should have been. So I'm going to use this as a fantastic opportunity, be able to maintain a physique that has a relatively good condition, pretty much like at least until we start prep again, just to be able to be doing exactly what I should be doing, which is bodybuilding in the right way. And I'm not spiritual. I believe in things and the potential possibility of there's so much out there that we don't understand. I am super open to the conversation about religion. I love having conversations with people that are so like in love with their religion. Like, if you're a Christian, if you're a Muslim, it doesn't matter what religion you are. Like, some people that are truly enlightened in their beliefs. Like they have some of the widest minds and the most incredible, like, you know, mindsets out there in the world. Me being like the type of person that believes in the potential of so many things, it limits my ability to be able to believe in one specific set of like rules or things. But when it comes to signs and like, you know, favorite numbers and things that mean a lot to people and like angel numbers and just like chakras, spirits, random shit, like I don't know what to believe in, but I believe there's some little bit of truth in everything that is potentially out there. The reason I'm mentioning all this stuff is because I have a tattoo on my arm that is a number 2 and a number 7, and it's 27 kind of put together in like a cool sort of way that, like, you know, it is a 27, but it's kind of like, you know, mixed together. And I got this right off the back, like 2 weeks after we got the pro card, and it was in France. It was when Geordie was competing, and we picked this random tattoo studio, and I just went in there and I was like, I want a 2 and a 7. And it's because at the regional qualifier of last year, I was like, I've got 2 lucky numbers, 2 and 7. And at the regional, in my number that I got given to compete on stage, there was a 2 in it, and in Austria there was a 7. And I was absolutely just blown away by this, and it actually ended up being the show that we got the card at. So after that, I got a 2 and a 7 tattooed on my skin. Now next year, on January 5th, I'm going to be 27 years old, and that would mean that stopping prep now and doing the debut next year, I'll be 27. I don't know what that means. I don't know if it means anything. It could just be, it could be nothing. It could just be absolutely full of shit. Like, Brandon, you're a massive weirdo. Get out your head. I can't believe you believe that stuff. And you know what? You might be right. You might be like, Brandon, that 27 don't mean shit. And to be honest, it might not. But like, I like to believe in things like this, and I like to maybe think that there's a bigger purpose, or there's things around us that are pointing us in directions that we need to go to, inner voices that we need to listen to. And if it's in our gut, like everybody watching this video, you have experienced something in your life one time when something didn't feel right, or you were doing something you knew you shouldn't have been doing, and in your gut, it didn't feel right. If you did something, you regretted it massively because it truly didn't feel right inside. That's pretty much how I feel about prep right now. And that is pretty much how I have felt about this prep ever since the day that I started. And it's weird to try and explain that because it is just a show. I do want to say that I'm massively, massively grateful for all of the support and the kind words. I've had my family like calling me and texting me and stuff, and like my friends back at home messaging me being like, I'm proud of your decision. It's totally fine. Like, you know, you compete whenever you want to. I've really, really appreciated that, because I can have so many conversations with Geordie and I can speak to my coach and all these things. But like, obviously when you get lost in thought and you think about something so much, you kind of lose the perception of the reality of it because you just spent too much time thinking about it. One thing that I was met with when I posted the picture on Instagram that was basically announcing that I was stopping prep, I was met with so many incredible DMs and just love and just like comments on the post that was like, Brennan, it's okay, the stage is always going to be there. Being able to take one step back to take 2 steps forward is definitely the right way, and I truly appreciate that. So thank you so much if you have said something kind, and I just hope that no one's disappointed. All I've ever wanted to do by these videos is inspire people to go out there and like do something with their life and achieve things that they didn't think were like literally possible in their life, because you might be like me. You might have come from like a small town. You might have been bullied a lot as a kid. You might have been told that you would never be anything. You might have had like arguments and violence and scarred by so many like terrible things when you were a kid, and it might have made you believe that you would never be anything and this was the life you've been given. And you don't know, like I remember being in year 7. I think you're 11 years old in year 7, and I was like praying at the end of my bed that I would wake up and be someone else, that I would just change, that I would look different, be different, have a different mindset. Everything about me I wished to be different, because I wasn't getting good grades at school. I had a terrible living situation at home. I didn't really have any friends in school because I was bullied about my teeth, my appearance, and because of the situation at home, I was just like an angry kid, and I was getting in fights and I was doing all these things, and like I ran away so many times. Like one time the police found me at a bus stop. Like there is so many things that happened before this. When I went to high school, I honestly went into high school being like, I'm never going to lose my virginity. I'm never going to have a girlfriend. I'm going to look like this my entire life, and I'm going to get bullied every day until I leave education. And when I got to high school, everything changed. I hit puberty. Everything just kind of changed. I thought for so many years that I would literally never amount to anything. That mentality, if it's deep enough, it will always, always stay with you. It will stay with you until the day that you pass away, and it hasn't served me very well. Sometimes it has. Sometimes it gives me this burning desire and this pressure inside that I, one, never want to put a child child that I would bring into the world in the same position that I felt like I was in. I want to be able to give a child just the absolute most, just incredible, just home life, just something that they can't wait to come home to. They have a great time at school and then they run home because they can't wait to be with mom and dad, and they can't wait to cook in the kitchen. They can't wait to do something fun. That's something that I truly didn't believe that I had the chance to experience. And then everything else was just tarnished because when I'd go to school, there was like crying, shouting, fighting, arguing, and feeling like I was a burden to the world. And then I'd go home and feel the same shit. What that creates in me is just this ability to just like overthink and maybe think that like I don't have what it takes, and I don't have it within me to achieve the things that I want to. And if you're in the same position, like, I want to let you know that you're full of shit. Like, really, like, none of that matters. I could continue to allow my past and these things that I went through as a kid, like, you know, put me down and make me believe that I cannot do anything. The reason it doesn't matter is because if you feel those things, but you just still continue to do things every single day to potentially achieve what you want, to maybe get closer to the things that you want to achieve, then more times than not, it's going to happen, and you'll find a way to make it happen. And right now with this whole pro debut thing, I know it's going to happen. Whether I'm going to do incredible at the show, who knows, but I'm going to put my best foot forward. I'm taking a step back now to be able to take 2 forward and just be the best that I can be. Because there's been too many times in my life where I believed that I wasn't going to achieve what I wanted to. And there's been so many times in my life where I've had this disbelief and then I've just surprised myself in the future. And I truly hope and think that by taking a step back and reframing, thinking, continuing on the plan right now, and being able to put myself in a position I can be absolutely undeniable in my own opinion and just know that I was able to be the freaking best that I could be, that's the position I want to be in. And I know that's the position that when I'm in it, I'll perform the best, and it'll be my best shot at actually achieving an Olympia qualification, because that is the whole freaking point we're doing this. Like, when you get, if you don't know this, if you win a pro show, you get invited to the Olympia. How fucked is that? That's crazy. That is absolutely nuts. So the goal is to win one, or to continue going to them until you do, and place better and better and better until the time comes that you're given the opportunity to go to the O and do what the hell you know you can do. And that's my goal. So that's pretty much all I have to say. What's going to happen with the videos now? Everything's just going to continue as normal. Like, I hold myself accountable. Like, I love creating videos. Like, nothing's going to change. Like I said, we're going to continue to get leaner as we progress through the weeks and stuff. So obviously I'm going to be documenting that, but I might have a bit more fun with the videos. I might like make them not so much like obviously like in the prep mode, and like I enjoy making prep videos, but I might have a little bit more fun with the style of video. Fuck, I just like making videos. I'm just gonna make whatever I want. I mean, I don't really have a plan. That is it for the video. I really hope you enjoyed it. It's seemingly got a little bit dark. It's in the evening time right now. I'm gonna head inside and have a meal and then actually head to the gym for today's workout. So I appreciate you listening to me, and thank you for always supporting me and these decisions. There's always going to be ups and downs in life. There's always going to be things that we decide to do and then come back on. It's all part of growing up, and it's all part of life. And I'm just glad and privileged that I have an opportunity right now to share my version of that with you. And I appreciate you listening. So I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, drop a like, turn on post notifications, and subscribe if you haven't already, because it really helps the channel grow. And I will see you in the next video. Peace.